In this video, we're going to be transforming Seaside City. Seaside City is one of the largest urban Minecraft cities that I've ever constructed. However, I built it in 2019 and 2020, and as you can see, it's looking a bit old and outdated. So in this video, we're going to be transforming Seaside City and giving it a major overhaul. Alright, so the first thing we need to do is build the roads in the city. So as you can see here, I'm going to try and do that, but what I realized is the river needs a little bit of work. So I'm going to try and touch up the river here and make it so that it's extended. Now we're going to build the roads out to the city, and as you can see here, we're destroying everything in its path. We're going to build this road out to the side, and what we're going to do is pretty much just connect Coastal City over here to Seaside City with this road right here. So we're just going to build it up over the landscape, and then what I am going to do is merge it into a 1 or 2 lane road and connect it together. As you can see, I do have to do some editing to that road, and there we go. Now I'm going to extend the road the other direction towards the city of Luxor and connect it that way. I am going to merge it into a 1 lane road again and destroy the existing road, replacing it with the modern road. As you can see right here, this part is a bit difficult because I have to do some terrain work and put some curves in the road, but as you can see, the road is coming along quite nicely, and now it's time to build the intersection right here. So I'll do that really quickly, and the next thing we're going to do is build the road that will consist of the main part of Seaside City. So we are going to go back to a 2 lane road here. I'm going to try to put a highway that runs through the city, but I will quickly realize that a highway is not something that's going to work in Seaside City, just due to the dynamics of it. The terrain makes it too old, and it just won't work for a highway. But I am going to continue building up the main road, destroying everything in its path, and filling in that intersection right there. Now what I am going to do is build this main road out to the very outskirts of Seaside City right here. And the next thing we're going to do is destroy the underwater city that I have, because there is not going to be an underwater city. Now I'm going to fill in it with some rich houses right here in the outskirts. As you can see, there's some quite large coastal beach houses, and we are going to extend the road to be able to reach those houses. As you can see, the road terrain work is quite difficult. I'm going to add the first updated trees into Seaside City, and now I am going to continue making the road here. So I will have that curved for now. I'm eventually going to extend that smaller road out more, but I am just going to do some more terrain work, filling the area in with large trees, and just making it look nice. I am going to destroy the old resort there because it looked very outdated, and I'm going to put some more houses in along the side here. So it's starting to come together. As you can see here, we are going to destroy the old buildings. I'm going to add a Ferris wheel in because everybody really liked the Ferris wheel in Noel, so I'm adding another one in Seaside City. I will eventually change the colors of the Ferris wheel to the gray and white, the Seaside City colors. I'm going to try to put a Walmart in there, but it won't work out. Continue working on this road right here to make it kind of go down. And I do have to do a lot of terrain work for this area because it's actually a pretty steep drop right here. And I have to make it still look realistic. I'm going to put some more beach houses in. These ones look a little different from the ones I put in before. But we are just going to fill that area in. And I do need to change the colors in each of the houses so they don't look identical and mundane. And lastly, put the trees in right there off to the side. I'm going to just continue to fill in the area with lots of palm trees, to give it that beachy look since it is along the beach. And I am going to destroy that ship right there and these other builds that I did in the water, add in a parking lot, put a tree in the middle of the parking lot to give it some better aesthetics, and put in the first lighthouse of Seaside City. Seaside City is kind of known for its lighthouse, but I am going to tear down the old lighthouse and replace it with a new one. So just putting in a few more walkways and adding some more trees to the surrounding islands, putting a lot of trees around the lighthouse and on all these smaller islands. Now I'm going to put in the stadium. This is a Seaside City soccer stadium, football as they call it, literally everywhere else in the world. Going to put in a parking garage here next to it. There we go. I do have to adjust it a little bit. There we go. And now I am going to just kind of fill in the rest of the terrain. I'm going to build another road right here that runs alongside the stadium and make the road go back to connect to the other main road. And I am going to put some trees along the side of the road here and in front of the parking garage. And the next thing we're going to do is fill in this area with some more downtown buildings. So I am going to tear down pretty much everything that is in the existing Seaside City. I'm going to put in that big tower right there. That is the tallest building in Seaside City. So just going to do some more terrain work to that, because I do have to extend the road out, make it go diagonal right there, and then I'm going to put in a parking lot over here. So putting in some more beach houses though, just to kind of fill in the rest of that empty space that was there. And now I'm going to put in another parking lot and extend it out, put some trees along the side of the parking lot, fill in the rest of this area with sand, and just kind of make it a decorative tree area. And I'm going to put in another intersection as well. As you can see here, that whole section is just filled in with trees. Now I'm going to add another really tiny parking lot, try out a few buildings. Not going to work there, but eventually I'll just put some trees in here. Now this part's very interesting, because what I'm going to do here is I'm going to fill in this area with high-rise buildings. And I spend a lot of time doing this. I actually spend about, like half an hour to 45 minutes putting all of these buildings in right here. And you can see me, trying out several different building types, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. I'm tearing down everything in this path, but I really don't like the way any of it looks. I'm going to delete it all and replace it. I'm going to try these apartments here, lower them, because I really want you to be able to see parts of the stadium from, like, the ocean. That doesn't work, so I'm going to put some smaller town buildings in here. And I do like the look of these town buildings, so I decided, these buildings look good here. They look better than the high-rises, so we're going to go with that. So I'm just going to quickly put in a parking lot right here and try to fill in the drain. I tried putting a merry-go-round there, but it just wasn't enough room, so I'll fill that area in with trees. And now I'm going to delete the Washington Monument here and put in some more town buildings. And once again, next to the shore, I really wanted to put some smaller buildings and then have the larger buildings in the back. But we are going to put in the marina here, so there are several boats. I'll try out this large cruise ship several times. It just doesn't work out. So I'm going to go with the sailboats here. So I do end up filling that in. I have to build the actual marina itself and all of the pillars that are underneath of the marina as well. As you can see, the camera under the water as I fill all that in. I'm going to change the color of the wool for the sailboats and put several sailboats and cruise ships throughout the city and make each one a different color wool for the sailboats. Last but not least, for the marina section, I am going to go ahead and fill in the area with trees and grade the land so that it looks realistic. I'm going to put the second lighthouse in right there and put some more town buildings in, replacing what used to be the bank. And I'm going to make that area kind of have a stone wall, move the lighthouse over a little, change the colors of it, and then add the trees in. And in case you didn't know, the lighthouses, the stripes are actually reversed for the lighthouses, so they'll look a little bit different because there are two of them. But I'm going to put the merry-go-round in here, and now I'm just building some parking lots. These parking lots are kind of useless, but I didn't know what else to put here. So I just figured we'll put some small areas of parking in. I'm going to put some trees in around this area and grade out this land, build another parking lot that's slightly larger, because there does need to be a lot of parking. Change the color of the merry-go-round to match the Seaside City theme. And now I'm going to put a Walmart grocery in right here. I don't know if you've ever seen these Walmarts. They're like smaller. It's like a neighborhood market. I figured this is a good build for Seaside City. I'm going to put some trees in here and grade out the land. Just go ahead and do that. Put trees all around the building to kind of cover up the plainness of it, because it is pretty plain in the back. And now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this 2-lane road or 4-lane road and shrink it down to a 2-lane road. Because I realized that, the city can only be so big, and we have to have some areas with, like, suburbs. So I am going to line this whole section out with houses here, and basically turn all of this terrain into, like the housing development areas. And the houses are right next to the stadium. I recently watched some videos where a lot of the stadiums in Europe, they have the houses right next to them. So I wanted to try that with this build, and I actually think it turned out really well. I am going to put some trees in here as well, just kind of along the sides, and I am going to also put the other side of the road with the houses. So that side before was closer to Luxor. This side is going to be getting closer to Coastal City. And in case you know, Seaside City and Coastal City are kind of like arch rivals with anything to do with sports. So just a little FYI there, but we are going to tear down this Ferris wheel here, and we are going to continue building this road from the side to kind of connect to it. I'm going to move the intersection over there, just that way it aligns to the other road, and put another house in. And now I'm going to build this bridge here, but I'll end up taking that down later, and you'll see why. We are going to put some more trees on the side, and just line this whole area up with houses from the distance Seaside City to Coastal City. And you will see me adjusting the terrain in the background here. If you look, and I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Some of the houses, as they go down the hill, will have a nice front yard, just because of the way the road is angled, and I wanted to return it to like the straight lines. But you'll see me build another road here. This road goes all the way to the pond that kind of separates Seaside City and Coastal City. I will end up building over the river section, but I do not build over the pond. I'll keep the pond area and turn it into a nice park. Now we're going to add another high-rise building in here, and a little bit of a lower building. I'm going to try out a few more buildings around this area, but eventually I'm just going to go with like a town block again. So that large building is there, and the town block is going to just fill in right behind it. There is that one other brick building that I put next to it though. But Seaside City is supposed to be like an urban city, so I definitely need more high-rises, and that's what I'm doing right now, because there really weren't any high-rises besides that one apartment. So I fill that area in with some more tall buildings, and I do have to work the terrain a lot. Adjusting the terrain is one of the most time-consuming parts of these transformation videos, because all I'm doing is copying and pasting buildings that I've previously built in other areas of my Minecraft world, and just making them look nice in this city. That's why you don't actually see me building any of these. I'm just copying and pasting them from existing areas of my Minecraft world. But adjusting the terrain still takes a ton of time, because in most of my Minecraft cities it's like a super flat world, but not these transformation ones. There's actual elevation to these. So now, as you can see, I am going to build some intersections here, and I'm going to put some more town buildings in along here. I didn't expect to build as many town buildings as I did, but I still like the way it turned out, because you need smaller buildings along with the larger skyscrapers. It sets everything apart. I am going to put a crane here, because my most popular video as of right now is the video where I build a construction site. So I really wanted to take the crane from that video and also put it in Seaside City, because you guys loved it so much. Now I'm going to add in some more roads here and continue putting in the buildings. As you can see, there'll be a mix of tall and short buildings, but I really like the way everything blended. As you can see, there's a lot of trial and error with this. I really don't do any like written planning. I just kind of put the buildings down and see where it looks. That's why I end up taking down a lot of the buildings. It's very easy to take it down because I'm just copying and pasting it. If I was actually building it by hand, yes, there would be a lot more planning involved. But I am going to continue to grade out this area here, and we're going to build a nice like pond area where you can actually go look out over the pond. I thought that I was going to do that right this second, but I do actually put some more trees in and then change a few other things before I adjust the pond. So I'm going to build a dock here, fill the area with lily pads, and then put ducks there. You really couldn't see it that well, but you'll see it in the showcase. So here is another large building and the Wells Fargo Bank from Duck City. And as you can see, I am going to just fill in the rest of this area with the smooth stone. It's kind of like the base material. But around the construction site, I'm going to leave that area, like, messy, because that's the way construction sites are. The dirt, or sand in this case, is just piled up in random locations. I'm going to build a lot of cones that run through here, and add some construction vehicles along this whole area. And then I'm going to put the construction workers in, and, as you can see, they're all right there. Now I'm just going to fill in the area with cars, and add another intersection right here. And then I'm going to line this whole area with like trees and stuff just to make it look nicer. As you can see, there are some alleyways like in between the buildings where there's just smooth stone. But this is the music concert area that we're building right now. So you can see right here, we are just going to fill this in. It does sink down into the ground, so that is kind of interesting. Now we're going to add another town block and the cafe from Duck City. And we're going to fill this area in with trees right here. So there's going to be trees all around it. Put a parking lot in, and then another smaller parking lot next to it. just to kind of leave some areas for parking here. And I am going to line the area with bushes, and then we're going to go ahead and fill in the terrain for this area as well. We're going to put some large trees here to kind of make it just like a filler area. And last but not least, we have this area over here where we have to put another large skyscraper. So we're putting that building, but we are going to shrink it down because it's way too tall. And we're going to put that other like apartment building next to the seashore and this other building over here. And now all we have to do is kind of like fill in this area with the terrain. So there's a lot of terrain work to do here, but we're going to extend like the alleyway out that way, put some trees in around the sides here, just filling in the entire area of trees. And we do have to mark the terrain for this area as well and make it sloped nicely. So that does take a bit of time, but as you can see, we do manage to fill it in right there. Put some trees in along that side, and then put some trees in just to kind of fill everything in. And there we go. Now here's the showcase. As you can see, we have the boats, and you'll go out to Seaside City, like the shoreline. So what I tried to do was I made like the smaller buildings in the front and then the skyscrapers in the back. So from the ocean, you can look out and see everything. So there's the Ferris wheel. We'll go past the different beach houses here. So you have like the housing district. Here's another view. We're going to fly through the entire city in this view. So you'll get to go through all of the different roads, past the tall tower. That's like the major tourist area where all the tourists stay. You'll go down the main city streets here as we approach, and we'll go over the stadium. And then this is the construction site area right here. So you'll see the construction site with all the little people doing their thing. Those are the construction workers with all the equipment. And there's a lot of different construction vehicles. I think it turned out really cool. Here's the cafe and the music area. You can see right here. So I think that turned out well. And then this is the stadium. So it is one of the largest stadiums in a Blocky world. You'll fly down through here, and you'll get to this part where you have like the merry-go-round and where you have the Marina. And then this is like the Walmart right here. I really like the way the Walmart turned out. I did fill in cars, but I don't do cars to the replay just because that is way too confusing to do in a time-lapse. Here are the pond. Hope you saw it right there. And then this is the last Marina view area. So we'll fly through the Marina here and then just go around to these other buildings. And that's pretty much it. So I hope that you enjoyed it.